Yeah, it is Friday, people. Welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Hope your day has gone swimmingly, and I certainly hope that you are looking forward to the weekend like I'm looking forward to the weekend. Why? Well, we've got NFL football. We've got college football. We've got, Tiger Woods in contention again, heading into possibly another Sunday final day of Tiger in that damn red shirt. But a lot to be excited about in the world of sports, and you made it through another work week, so congratulations to you as well. And we've got some football that we're going to discuss. We like to play a little game here on the Joe Raineri Show called Who You Got. We are going to rattle off a whole bunch of very important trends and some statistics that we know to be an absolute fact as we head into Sunday. And then we're going to ask the simple question of who is it you got? Who do you got with these games? And by the way, there is a new number here to the studio. We'd love to hear from you. 305-876-6976. Probably easier if I just do this for you. There you go. 305-876-6976. That is how you reach us here on the show. I want to know who it is that you got tonight as we get ready to place our bets for the weekend. And if you had, like I had, the under last night in the Atlanta and Philly game, then you are definitely ahead of the money so far this year. Hard to watch that game, though. 26 penalties in that game. Nobody knows what a catch is still in the NFL. Nobody really knows what and this was hard for me, is watching what a tackle is. Nobody knows how to tackle the quarterback anymore in the NFL. If you guys didn't get a chance to see it last night because, you had to work and the game wasn't over until about 12:30 last night, and no wonder why the ratings were significantly down last night than they were from previous years. But if you didn't get a chance to see it, there was a play in the game last night where Nick Foles got sacked, and they threw a flag on it. And he didn't even get sacked. He got hit, and they threw the flag on it. And here is the play, if you didn't have a chance to see it. Apparently the Falcons, they were supposed to hit him and then fly away. They weren't supposed to actually land on him like that. That's not the way to tackle, I guess, anymore, but apparently that's the new NFL that we live in. I have no idea how these guys are going to tackle. 26 penalties last night. We had more penalties than we had points combined in the game last night. It was brutal. It was a tough watch, I'm not going to lie. But the under was a good play. And quite honestly, it shouldn't have been that close if Matty Ice over there and Steve Sarkisian actually got on the same page and figured out how to get the ball to Julio Jones, inside the 5-yard line. That would probably be really good for the Falcons. They had an entire offseason to figure out, how to score in the red zone so they don't get stuck and get bounced out of the playoffs like they did last year. But they haven't figured that out yet, and there's just way too much talent on that team for them not to be able to do that. So I don't know if you're going to point the finger at Matty Ice, Steve Sarkisian, Dan Quinn. You can't point the finger at Julio Jones because he's the only damn player that they've got on here that wants to seem to make a play. So, but that's in the past. That's Thursday night. We've got some games on Sunday, and I've got some statistics here. I've got a whole bunch of statistics and some trends that I want to give you guys, and then I'm going to ask you on who you got. 305-876-6976 is how you reach us. That's 305-876-6976. Some things you need to know before you place those bets. Let's start with the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are one of these very trendy picks. How many people have you heard pick the Minnesota Vikings as the Super Bowl team this year? Minnesota is going to represent the NFC, and it's no wonder. They had a great season last year. They were top to bottom, very, very good. Now, they do have some changes, and I think one of the most significant changes of the Minnesota Vikings this year is they lost Pat Shermer. Pat Shermer's now with the New York Giants, and you've got a new quarterback and you've got a new offensive coordinator in Minnesota. I don't think things are going to go as swimmingly as they did for them last year. Now, they do have Dalvin Cook back. He's set, ready to rock and roll in this game against the 49ers on Sunday, which is good news for them. But they had a lot of things fall into place for them last year, the Minnesota Vikings, that is. I don't see that happening nearly as much as it did last year, not to mention Kirk Cousins is your new quarterback. So let me give you an idea of what's going on. This game right now, currently the spread, Vikings -6.5. The over-under is 46. And here are the trends that you need to know, which should help you decide which direction you're going to go here. All right, the first thing you need to know is no coach covers the spread quite like Mike Zimmer. Since Zimmer has become the Vikings coach in 2014, the Vikings are 43-21 against the spread. 43-21. That's it's almost plus 19.4 units under Zimmer. He is the most profitable coach in the NFL over that time frame. So over the last couple of years, since 2014, nobody has been more profitable if you bet on him against the spread than Mike Zimmer. Really glued. Really good. As a matter of fact, under Zimmer, the Vikings are 23-9 at home against the spread. Also a big number. And including the playoffs and week ones, Minnesota is 7-0 straight up and 5-2 against the spread since 2015 when they've had more than 1 week to prepare. Now, here's the other, that all sounds wonderful, right? That sounds great. It sounds like Minnesota is unbeatable at home, especially on a week one. But then there's this. There's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is 0-3 with a 71.7 passer rating and 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in week one. Only the Jets' backup quarterback now, Josh McCown, who was 0-8, has a worse rating in game ones of the NFL season than Kirk Cousins. Cousins does have better weapons now. I will give him that. He's throwing to a whole lot different people. He got a different running game. He's got different wide receivers. He's got a whole lot of things different there, but it doesn't change the fact that the metrics matter, and the metrics in this case tell us Kirk Cousins sucks in game one. So just keep that in mind. Minnesota, very hard to beat at home. Mike Zimmer, nobody is better. Nobody's made more money for sports bettors since 2014 than Mike Zimmer. The guy is unbeatable against the spread. However, the thing that you got to take into consideration, no Pat Shermer and no more Case Keenum. You've got Kirk Cousins in there. So the question is, who you got? Are you taking the Vikings and the minor? Are you going to lay the 6.5 points? Are you going to take the over or the under at 46? Who you got? 305-876-6976. To me, I could be crazy here, but to me, Dalvin Cook back 100% from the ACL. As much as I hate, and I mean I absolutely hate having to bet with Kirk Cousins, I think that the Mike Zimmer connection, and I think being at home, and I think having all their weapons ready to rock and roll, I'm going all day long for the Minnesota Vikings to cover here. It's at 6.5. If it goes over 7, I might think twice about it. But under that 7 mark, I'll lay the points and certainly take the Minnesota Vikings, because who the hell knows what Jimmy Garoppolo is. You want to talk about another guy overrated, ridiculous what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo. So who you got? 305-876-6976. Let's go to the phones. Welcome in. Who's this?
This is Mike in West Palm. How you doing?
Oh, Mikey in West Palm. All right, Mikey, who you got here, man? Talk to me. You got week one, 6.5.
I got to tell you, I agree with you on a lot of that, and I'm not going to touch a 6.5, 7-point spread with how low scoring I think most games are going to be this weekend as these offensive lines and referees figure out what they're doing penalty-wise, like we saw last night. I do think you're crazy saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is overrated. This guy is about to come in and take the league by storm. I'm taking San Francisco to win, but you got to look at just the precision this guy has. And now, a whole offseason with Kyle Shanahan, this is going to be a match made in heaven. You've got your theories on Kirk Cousins. And I totally agree with that. And I don't know, new guy, new system. We don't know what's going to happen there. And for them to be the favorites to come out of the NFC, I think it's a trendy pick. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a trendy pick. But I will say this. I mean, we'll differ on Garoppolo because until I see it, I don't. I'm just not I'm not a believer yet. I am a believer, however, on Marquise Goodwin, who in most fantasy right now, I believe in DraftKings, he's about $4,600 in DraftKings right now. And he's a guy that I would absolutely pick up from one of my daily fantasy teams. I think this guy is poised to have monster weeks this year with Garoppolo, with that team. I think Marquise Goodwin is going to be a pretty good bet for daily fantasy throughout the year.
I agree with you on Goodwin, but I think the sneakier pick is taking Pierre Garçon. And granted, they haven't played together yet.
Yes.
And so obviously Goodwin was his guy last year. Garçon was on the IR. So if Garçon's a guy you can get in your fantasy drafts 8 rounds later and could end up being his favorite. So that's a little bit sneakier on how I would approach that. But I think either way, this guy, besides the dating porn stars, I think he's got a pretty good head on his shoulder. I think he's going to figure it out both.
He better, and at least I hope he washes his fingers. That's all I hope, because you never know what you got. You don't want any of that crap on, grows. It's a fungus. You don't want any of that shit any there. So I understand that completely. Mikey in West Palm, appreciate the phone call, my man. Have yourself a great weekend. Good luck this weekend.
Love the show, Joe. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother. Okay. Who you got? 305-876-6976. That's 305-876-6976. Our next game, Houston Texans taking on those dreaded New England Patriots. Now, the spread right now has been going back between 6 and 7. It was 6.5 for most of the week, and then it even actually got down to 5.5, laying 5.5 in the middle of the week. But I don't see that. I'm not sure this is going to go anywhere over 7 anytime soon. But the question that you have to ask yourself is, are you betting against Tom Brady? Because I wouldn't. Here's the trends that you need to know in this game. Since 2003, when the line moves against Tom Brady, the Patriots are 58-36-5 against the spread. That's a 62% clip, which is crazy. But since 1999, the previous Super Bowl losers are 6-13 straight up, 4-15 against the spread in week 1. So you got to look at that and go, but it's the Patriots, it's Tom Brady. Does any of that even really make a difference? If you look back into season openers following their Super Bowl losses over that span, if you look at it, 2012 at Tennessee, they were 4.5-point favorites. They won. Kansas City in 2008, they were 16-point favorites. They ended up winning that game, too. So the Patriots, you kind of look at it and you go, the only thing that matters to me is that Tom Brady right now is 40-10 straight up, 32-16 against the spread over the streak of, and this is crazy, he enters this year having been favored in 50 consecutive starts, including the playoffs. That's 50 straight games, including the playoffs and the Super Bowls, that Tom Brady has been favored. And during that span, he's 32-16-2 against the spread. That's crazy when you look at those statistics. So you got Julian Edelman, who's not going to be there. You got a lot of people that think Nate Solder not being on the offensive line anymore is going to cause some problems, especially early on in the year with the New England Patriots. We know the New England Patriots also, they're notoriously slow starters in the year. You can almost throw out what happens in September and throw it right out the window. On the flip side, you've got the Houston Texans, who have Deshaun Watson now back in the picture, back healthy. You've got Lamar Miller, who is going to be playing a lot of 3 downs. He's going to be a 3-down back here because their backup, Donta Foreman, he's out with an Achilles tear. So I think they have, Blue, I think, is their backup running back. So you're going to get a lot of Lamar Miller this year You're going to get a lot of Burkhead for the New England Patriots, as him and James White are going to be going back and forth. Burkhead's probably going to get a majority of it. He can also line up in the slot, which makes him very advantageous if you want to play him in daily fantasy. As a matter of fact, Burkhead lining up in the slot or as a wide receiver, he did so on 18% of the snaps last year. He's only about $4,200 on DraftKings right now. And to me, he's a bargain. He's a guy that it's so hard to bet, or it's so hard to place money on New England Patriots running backs in daily fantasy. But I do think Burkhead this year, with this particular lineup, I think he's poised to he's going to have a lot of action there. So the question is, who you got in this particular game? Do you go against Tom Brady or do you not go against Tom Brady? Who you got laying 6 points, the Patriots are? 305-876-6976. That's 305-876-6976. Now, on the flip side of that, I had told you, Lamar Miller, there's not a lot behind him. Expect Lamar Miller to get an awful lot of touches as well for the Texans. So if there's two guys that you would think about playing in this game, it would definitely be Rex Burkhead and Lamar Miller for the Texans. Both very reasonably priced in daily fantasy. Definitely might be a chance to take a flyer on those guys. 50.5 is the over-under. Very worth taking a shot at. To me, I don't ever bet against Tom Brady in these types of situations. I think the numbers tell you everything that you need to know about Tom Brady and what's going on there. So take them all day long. Now, the other game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Now, normally I would say this game is, on paper, it's not even close. You've got the New Orleans Saints. The spread is bouncing back between 9.5 and 10. But, as a matter of fact, 75% of the spread bets as of a couple of hours ago were with the Saints. A lot of money coming in on the spread, laying the points, 9.5, 10, depending on which book you're at. The Saints are now officially Week 1's biggest favorite. Now, here's the problem. I do think the Saints are going to win. I don't see any problem with that. However, since 1993, this is the trend you need to know in this game. Since 1993, the biggest favorites on opening weekend of the NFL season, they have torched bettors, guys, going 12-22 against the spread. 12-22 against the spread. That's only 35%. Not a great bet over the long haul. And it's not as if this is only a, 1 or 2 season thing. We've got some data here. This is a long stretch, 35%. So all teams that have been favored by more than a touchdown in Week 1 over that same span since 1993 are 19-36 against the spread. Do what you want with that number. I wanted you guys to know that. Who you got? Are you still taking the Saints? 9.5, 10, or does that number scare you even with Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starting quarterback? Who you got? 305-876-6976. That's 305-876-6976. I do just want to take this quick moment here and thank our sponsors here on the show. And we want to thank them so very much for welcoming us into the family. That's Miami Acura. They want you to stop by, test drive that all-new 2019 RDX. It's an amazing car, and not to mention the people are awesome. We love our peeps at Miami Acura. Give them a buzz, 855-564-4669. That's 855-564-4669. Tell them Joe sent you, the guys over at WTF Sports TV. They will hook you up. Make sure you test drive this car. I'm telling you, it is amazing. The all-new 2019 RDX. All right, what do we got coming up on the next game? I told you about that. Let's move on to, I think, is going to be one of my best bets of the weekend, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Giants. Now, the Jags, as of a couple hours ago, was bouncing back between the Jags -3, -3.5. Are they being undervalued? Are the New York Giants being undervalued? And I think this is another one of those situations where people are remembering back to the Jacksonville Jaguars almost beating Tom Brady, AFC Championship. This team was just a couple of plays away from, making it to the Super Bowl. How can you not take them? And this is, it's Eli Manning, and I get it. I get it. But this game, to me, is very lopsided. I don't see, and to me, you got to think of at least 3 points. The Giants having home field advantage is good for at least 3. You're going to tell me that the Jacksonville Jaguars are 6 to 7 points better than what the Patriots are? To me, there's a ton of value in the New York Giants this weekend. And I love the New York Giants from the standpoint of I think this game is going to come down to the defensive front. We know Jacksonville's defensive front is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But what you may not know about the Jaguars is they have a whole lot of inexperienced, unproven commodities for him to throw the ball to, that being Blake Bortles. The Jaguars are going to roll with Keelan Cole, Dede Westbrook, and Dante Moncrief. And Moncrief has got the most experience out of either one of those two guys. Dede Westbrook is only a second-year guy. And Keelan Cole... Exactly. Marquise Lee's injury, that season-ending knee injury, is a big problem for the Jaguars. They did bring in Austin Seferian-Jenkins as a tight end. He is ready to go after not practicing earlier this week, but he has been given a clean bill of health. I do anticipate he's going to get a whole lot of balls thrown his way, but I think they're going to roll with Leonard Fournette and TJ Yeldon, and to me, they are going to have to run the ball a lot, and that works right in to the Giants' favor when they got Snacks in the middle, Damon Harrison right there. They also have Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley healthy. They've been cleared to play. I think this is a different Eli Manning, a different Giants team. Pat Schumer is now the head coach there. They've gotten rid of that stank. Odell Beckham got his money. There's not going to be a lot of drama, and I do think the New York Giants have a chip on their shoulder, especially Eli, who, let us not forget, just a couple of months ago we were laughing because his ass got benched. They got rid of Webb, who might be on the Jets now. He's making the rounds. So they are rolling with Eli Manning, and I think Eli's got a lot to prove. He doesn't really, but I'm sure he's going to want to prove a lot here. I think this number is way, way off base. I don't think they deserve to be anywhere near a 3-point favorite on the road in MetLife with Blake Bortles as your quarterback. So I really, 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 really like the Giants in this particular game. And word of caution to you guys who love Odell Beckham Jr. If you're planning on playing Odell Beckham Jr., it's already been said that Jalen Ramsey, the shit talker of all shit talkers, Jalen Ramsey is going to be shadowing him. And when that happens in the past, what we have seen is wide receivers disappear in these games. When Jalen Ramsey is shadowing them, goes one-on-one, the numbers are actually very scary, and this is something that you need to keep. This is another one of those stats and trends you should know about before playing these guys. When he has shadowed wide receivers, Jalen Ramsey, those receivers on average just 2.8 catches a game for 32 yards. It's happened 6 times over the last couple of years with Jalen Ramsey. That's 2.8 for 32 yards. You can see already Odell Beckham Jr., he's only been purchased in about 8% of the DraftKings and FanDuel leagues. Think about that, 8%. When is the last time? When are we ever going to see Odell Beckham Jr. only an 8% buy in DraftKings and FanDuels? We're not going to see it very often, but I think it's smart to stay away from him. He's a big number. He's a big price. And Ramsey is the real deal, man. There's just no way around it. Jalen Ramsey is the real deal. So I would avoid Odell Beckham Jr. like the plague, but I would not avoid taking the home underdog here, the New York Giants. I would not. I think this is going to be an ugly-ass game. I think it's going to be a lot of running. The wind, they say, is going to be up to 20 miles per hour. Anybody that's ever been to MetLife, when the wind blows in that stadium, it is ridiculous. So I don't know that they're going to put the ball in the air all that much, but I do think it's going to be the Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley showdown. It's going to be ugly, and I also think it's going to be very low scoring. So to me, take the damn Giants and under 42.5. I would roll with that all day long. And one of the final games that I want to give you the numbers on that is really, really telling with these trends. And by the way, 305-876-6976. That's how you roll with us here. We want to know who you got this weekend. Who is your pick? Tell us at 305-876-6976. Will the Dolphins be able to take care of business? They are home underdogs right now as well. And I don't know why it is that the Tennessee Titans are road favorites in any stadium, much less even Dolphin and Hard Rock Stadium. But it is what it is. Who do you got there? 305-876-6976. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. We started off by telling you the Minnesota Vikings are that trendy pick, right? Everybody jumping on the Minnesota Vikings bandwagon. To me, a whole lot of uncertainty in the Minnesota Vikings camp there with Pat Schumer being gone and no more Case Keenum. They had a lot of things fall into place for them last year. I don't know that they're going to have those same things fall into place this year. And I think the Chicago Bears kind of fall into that very trendy category. People have been talking a lot about the Chicago Bears. Khalil Mack, you got to give Richard Pace there some credit for what he's done as the general manager there, going for it. Mitch Trubisky, they love him there. I do think this is a team that is on the rise. But having said that, I don't think there's any way in hell they are going to beat the Green Bay Packers this weekend. And here are the numbers that you've got to know. Since Aaron Rodgers' first start in 2008 in the NFL, no quarterback has been more profitable against the spread in the division than Aaron Rodgers. He is 35-18 against the spread versus the NFC North. That is crazy. Here's another crazy number. In the past 10 years, Rodgers is a ridiculous 41-18-3 against the spread at home. That's a 69% clip. That is mind-boggling. It's kind of the same thing with that whole Tom Brady situation and the trends and the numbers of what Brady does as a favorite, especially at home. I love Chicago. I think Chicago's got a lot to be excited about. Bears fans finally are going in the right direction. They've got something to be very excited about. Khalil Mack, and they've got this new kid too, the tight end Trey Burton. I think he's going to be great. You've got a lot to be excited about. The thing you don't have to be excited about, though, is playing in Lambeau Field Game 1 against the dude who, over the last 10 years, has covered the spread in 69% of the starts at that stadium. That is tough, man. I don't see it. Aaron Rodgers has shown us that it's no more RELAX this year. He's pissed. He's said a lot more this training camp than he has in past years, which tells me that he's ready to go. He's ready to do some damage, and I think he's going to come out swinging. I really do. I think that he's going to try and light him up. I think he's going to do that. I love the defense. I love the front seven. They are nasty, but I just love Aaron Rodgers more in this situation. I do think that this game with those numbers, yeah, as trendy as it is, Bears, you're going to have a good year and you are on the rise, but you ain't there yet, and you no way have enough firepower, Mitchell Trubisky, to take on Aaron Rodgers and beat him. Now, I know it's bouncing back between 7.5, but I can definitely see this being a 28-10, 28-13 matchup in Lambeau Field. So to me, I'm taking the damn points. I'm laying the points at Green Bay, and I'm taking them. By the way, the over-under 47.5. I don't think they're going to get to over 47. Not because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is good enough to be able to put some points on the board, but I just don't think that Mitchell Trubisky is there yet. But time will tell. Also, one final note, you should probably hear this from me before anybody else. I know, speaking of trendy picks, a lot of people love the the Cleveland Browns. They're on HBO. They're the Hard Knocks. Everybody loves the Cleveland Browns. Another trendy, ooh, go Brown. You feel like you know everyone on the team now because of the show. But here is the one trend that you need to know about the Cleveland Browns before you thinking about taking them over the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. The Browns haven't won a Week 1 game since 2004. Okay? 2004. In fact, the last quarterback to win a game for the Browns in 2004 was Jeff Garcia. Okay? Now, Pittsburgh, outside of them, I mean, they've been making headlines every damn day, this whole Le'Veon Bell thing. I can tell you right now, there is no better way to get out your frustrations and to right a team than to go and game 1 just pretty much mop the field with the Cleveland Browns. Win by 30 points, and winning tends to calm the nerves in the locker room. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers way too much talent. Connor is going to be the running back. They're going to be fine. They still got Brown and Schuster. There's too much damn talent on this team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. There is. I do think they have some issues on defense, but they have plenty enough to be able to go and take care of business against the Cleveland Browns. Now, the spread originally was 7.5. Some books had it 8, and then all of a sudden, once Le'Veon Bell decided not to show up, Vegas has pushed it down, 2 to 3 points in a lot of places. You're looking at 4.5 points, and as good as Le'Veon Bell is, what is he, 3 points? Yeah, no. And we're talking about the Browns, after all, have not won an opening week game since 2004. I had to look at it just to make sure, since 2004. So for those of you that remember that game, kudos to you. You guys are diehards, but the reality is, no. Steelers are going to win this game. They're going to win it big. So go ahead and, like the Browns, root for the Browns this year, but Steeler fans know where it's at, and where it's at is they will cover the 4 or 4.5 points. 305-876-6976. That's how you reach us here in the studio. It's our edition of Who You Got, the Friday edition. We do this each and every week because we want to get your thoughts and opinions on who do you like. Who's your must-play game of the weekend? Is it Pittsburgh? Is it the Jacksonville Jaguars? Is it the Miami Dolphins, who at last check is a pick'em game? And I know a lot of Fins fans are scratching their head and they're going, man, we can't even be a favorite against the Tennessee Titans at home in game 1. I do think a lot of Fins fans are going to change their mind about Ryan Tannehill this year. I think Tannehill is going to impress a lot of people this year. I think he's focused. If he can stay healthy and stay upright, I think Adam Gase and him, it'll be very interesting. I think Stills, by the way, is going to have a tremendous game. So he's another one of those daily fantasy plays. If you haven't picked him up, and I know he's pretty cheap right now in DraftKings and FanDuel, but I think Kenny Stills is going to be poised for 5 or 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown. I do think that's the kind of year it's going to be. I love the camaraderie that they have, that being Ryan Tannehill and Kenny Stills. I think that's going to be huge. I'm going to be interested to see the new kid, the tight end, Gesicki, out of Penn State. I know there's been we know he can block. At least we hope he can block. But can he catch passes over the middle? And since Ryan Tannehill loves that 5-6 yard drop-off there, it'll be interesting to see how this kid does in an Adam Gase offense. But to me, the matchup there is you have an offensive line in the Tennessee Titans who hasn't played a snap together cohesively. So you're going up against the likes of Cameron Wake. And the best part to me about the Dolphins is that front. Their linebackers are shit, but we all know that. But I do think that front on the Miami Dolphins is going to give Marcus Mariota, that offensive line, that new offensive line, it's going to give them some problems. So going to be a lot of Derrick Henry, I'm sure, running into the line. It's going to be another one of those very ugly games, I think, but I do like the under, and I do like the Miami Dolphins at home to win this game and to win it outright. So who do you got? 305-876-6976. That's 305-876-6976. We love to share our picks with you as the week progresses. We'll also be live on Sunday all day long. We'll go ahead. You can catch us here at WTF Sports TV. If you guys haven't done so, please subscribe on YouTube and Facebook Live and Twitter. You can catch us on Periscope. We'll be broadcasting on all of those platforms. We've got some really cool shows coming up this weekend, too. The Beer and the Boys is going to broadcast. Very funny stand-up comedian, Jordan Garnett. He'll be hosting that show. He's got a whole bunch of just unsavory people that gather together. They're all Cowboys fans. They're all going to descend upon one house, and we are going to tape them, and we are going to provide exactly how the game starts versus how it ends. They're taking on the Carolina Panthers, and could you imagine what Cowboy fans will be like if they get their asses handed to them by Cam Newton and company? It should be very interesting to document. So that's coming up. We've got a whole lot of great talent, going to provide you a whole lot of great sports content here on WTF Sports TV all throughout the college season and the NFL season and beyond that. We're excited to be able to do this and bring it to you guys. You have the phone number here. You can certainly reach out to us. We're also going to give you the chance every Sunday after the games. That phone will be open, and you can call and vent on how bad your team is. I've got the number already engraved on me because I'm a Jets fan, and I know I'm just going to be as disappointed as it comes throughout the year like we always are. But you'll have a home, you'll have a place that you can come and just get the shit off your chest and let it rip. And you can do that at WTF Sports TV. So make sure you subscribe. If you hit that little bell, that damn bell in the upper right-hand corner, you'll get notified every time one of our shows goes live. And communicate with us. Hit us up, WTF Sports, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and communicate with us, all right? We love the chit-chat. We love to go back and forth. We'll also have a whole bunch of Vegas guys coming on over the next couple of weeks, Vegas handicappers who will tell you what they think. I'll tell you what I think, and we could all be wrong or we could all be right and just live happily ever after. But it's a collective effort, so make sure you join us each and every week here on WTF Sports TV. It is the new way for you to enjoy sports and to consume sports, and we've got some sports content coming your way. So 305-876-6976. College football tomorrow. We'll touch base again tomorrow. We'll let you know exactly who we like. There are a couple of must-play games tomorrow as well. I do want to finally say thank you once again to Miami Acura. Make sure you test drive the all-new 2019 RDX. That's right. Give them a buzz. You know how to reach them, 855-564-4669. You can also see them Dixie Highway, that's South Dixie Highway, Palmetto Bay. You guys in the 305 know exactly where they are. Stop by, say hello to Deborah, say hello to Charles, and make sure you try that all-new 2019 RDX. Take it for a test drive. I promise you're never going to want to get out of it. It is ridiculous. And we want to thank them for being a sponsor here on WTF Sports TV and making us part of the family. So on behalf of everybody else, on behalf of Miami Acura, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in on your way home, on Periscope, on Twitter, on YouTube, and, of course, Facebook Live. We love you guys. Thanks for making us a part of your day. And we will, I guess we'll be back on, you and I will be back on Sunday, and we'll get to do this all over again. I'm really excited. So have a great night, guys. Thanks for making us a part of it.